I haven't came clean to anyone about this yet. I still feel very guilty to this day. So I guess I'll just get to it. Back in my middle school years, I was dating this guy who I met through a mutual friend. We started hanging out more and became really close. We eventually started dating, and it was all great the first few months until later I started noticing he was becoming very clingy and always checking on what I would be doing in my free time. He would get upset if I didn't give him my undivided attention 24/7. At the time, I thought this was normal because this was my first real relationship. It gets progressively worse. As time passes, I'm starting my freshman year in high school and he's a year older than me, so he's in sophomore year. He starts becoming very paranoid about who I'm hanging out with and starts getting really aggressive with me and starts to accuse me of cheating on him. Of course, I reassure him I'm not and we have fights about it. It starts getting so bad he begins to hit me and punish me whenever I interact with a guy. Doesn't matter if it's a wave or a high. Any attention I give to a guy, it's immediately called cheating by his standards. The abuse gets so bad he does it during passing halls whenever it was time to switch to a different class. It gets reported, thankfully. This is later. One day, when I'm walking to school, one of his exes, we'll call her Lucy, approaches me and she tells me, "Hey, are you so-so's GF?" And I responded with, "Yes." She then begins to tell me he went to her house the night before while I was asleep and they slept together and cuddled and kissed. She only wanted to tell me to warn me. Obviously, I was angry, and I tried to remain calm about the whole situation and kindly thanked her for the information. I then began to form a plan. I just had all this anger and rage built up from everything this dude did to me. I wanted him to feel my pain or get revenge. So, there is this guy I've been knowing since middle school. He's the sweetest guy I've ever met, and honestly, he was the first guy I've ever fell in love with. I'm talking a hardcore crush kinda thing. But he was always disappearing and I never understood why. I ended up finding out later, but it's not my story to tell. So, in secret, I started dating this guy, and he was so respectful to me. I'll never forget the kindness he showed to me, no matter how skittish he was. I ended up going to his house and having unprotected sex with him. I don't know why, I just felt something I've never felt before with anyone, like soulmates. It really did feel like we were meant to be. So, afterwards I tell him I love him and I don't want anyone else, and he felt the same. So I gave him a kiss and a hug goodbye and went on my way to my boyfriend at the time house. He demands sex, and while I'm undressing he notices that there's hick eyes and bite marks and scratches. Obviously from the other guy. When he brought it to my attention I said, "Oh, you can see that. Oh, you're not mad, are you?" And he got angry and slapped me, and I slapped him back. It got worse. It started to turn into throwing and punching, and then I just snapped, and for a while, it felt like I saw red, like in my vision. I had so much anger. Somehow I got him on the ground and I had him pinned and I was screaming at him, "I know what the fuck you did with Lucy. Don't try to play dumb, you fucking slut. Why are you calling me the whore if you're the one who was unfaithful first?" At this point I had punched him and kicked his face so many times. He was crying and begging me and telling me he was sorry and that he was stupid. I was shaking with anger. I've never felt this much rage before, and then something in me saw mercy. I didn't want to hurt anyone. I was the one hurt and I was acting on emotion. So I told him, "I'm done. This relationship is done," and I left. I'm Nikki.